On the 23rd of March 1999, we lost our son Jack to the Hib strain of meningitis. Now, it was a particular strain that they had a vaccine for since 1991. However, whenever Jack got the Hib strain of meningitis, they realised it was raising its head again. And that's now why children get a vaccine or a booster vaccine for that particular strain. That particular night, he was a normal little boy. He was a bit of a chatterbox. He had talked since he was 18 months. He carried a little book around with him called Three Little Pigs, and it just was his favourite book, and he showed it to everybody and he wanted everybody to read it to him. So that night, to say he went to bed as normal, he got up and was sick once in the middle of the night, and I placed him in bed between my husband and myself, and he didn't get up again. However, in the morning I realised he was deathly pale, and just realised I couldn't rouse him. So we took him to A&E department, and I put him in the car myself, feeling I need to get there quickly. I thought it was quicker than calling an ambulance. And less than 12 hours later, we had lost our son. I mean, it was just such a devastating disease. We carried him into A&E department. I felt as if I was calm at the time, but I couldn't remember my address when I was trying to give it to reception or my telephone number. And one of the girls came out of A&E and lifted him out of my arms, and I explained I can't rouse my son. And it just went from there. The next minute we had a paediatrician and he was ventilated. There was some talk that we would move him to Belfast. However, you know, our paediatrician explained to us that there wasn't much hope because he was totally flat. He didn't have any sedation. And they felt it was encephalitis at that stage, but as the results came through, we realised then it was meningitis. I say he'd never ever had a rash, and coming up to about 8 o'clock that evening, the decision was taken to turn off his ventilator as he had severe brain damage. You know, just looking back on it, we just wonder how we got through those early days, and we were both devastated. I, as a nurse, I'm a cardiac nurse who works in an angina service, and I felt so guilty that I was a nurse and hadn't picked up on the signs and symptoms of meningitis. It's such a fast-moving disease that it can kill in the matter of hours, and I would urge any parent who had any indication that their children might be ill and have meningitis that they should get to any department as soon as possible. Our paediatrician at the time said I was quicker than most, that he sees a lot of them coming to A&E already dead on arrival. So looking back on it, I just wonder how we got through it. And Meningitis Research Foundation, when we contacted them, they were so supportive, and in the early days, even a phone call from them, how are you doing, how are you getting on? My husband and myself went over to Westminster to lobby MPs about the new meningitis B vaccine. It had been approved by the Joint Committee of Vaccination and Immunisation. However, the UK government hadn't picked it up at that stage, but they have now. In March of this year, they actually said they would go with it. However, it hasn't been introduced yet, and we still would like to give that support and try to urge the government to take that on. So, I mean, Jack was just our middle son at that stage. We had two other children who missed him really badly. Michael was 6, and at that stage, Peter was 18 months. I don't think he knew exactly what was going on. He used to open doors looking for Jack. I think he realised Jack was missing but wasn't quite sure what was going on. Since that now we've had another son, Johnny. He's now 13, and I know no child ever replaces another, but it's lovely to have my 3 sons, and every day, you know, I think of Jack at some stage, and I still feel that I am a mother of 4, even though there's 3 boys in the house. So at the minute, we're just like to support the Meningitis Research Foundation. We are thinking of new ways to do some charity events or raise money and make people more aware of the condition. I have wee cards and that I would like to hand out, you know, to friends and family, and anybody that would want any further information. I'm quite happy to give them some. And say we are devastated, but that, you know, the thing I strive for most now, that it's too late for our son Jack. But that if we offer any support or help to other parents, then that's what I hope to do.